Welcome to ACC Network's coverage of women's soccer. It's our Thursday night primetime matchup from historic Riggs Field in Clemson, South Carolina, where the Clemson Tigers are hosting the third-ranked Duke Blue Devils. Duke opening conference play tonight. Everybody getting their selfies in. Yeah, we're doing it too up here in the booth. Jen Hildreth alongside former North Carolina midfielder Casey White. Clemson coming off their best season ever, making it to their first ever College Cup a year ago. But recovering from some losses has been tough with players graduating. Duke, on the other hand, boy, they are rolling right now. Casey, why is that?
A lot of confidence. When you score a lot of goals like they have, you just get it going. They have great possession, but they're dangerous in their possession and getting a lot of goals because of it.
Yeah, finding a lot of different ways to score as well. This is their ACC opener tonight. Will this goal scoring trend continue?
And that is the question. Can they do it against ACC play? They've scored in a variety of ways, some set pieces, some long range, but they just keep the attack rolling so far this season.
Yeah, outscoring opponents 20-0 on this 5-game win streak that they are on, 20-1 for the season as a whole. So really, Duke has been terrific on both sides of the ball. But as you pointed out, a lot of different ways that they can find the back of the net. And quite frankly, that is something that this Clemson team is still searching for. They've moved players around. They're trying to figure out, Casey, how they can score with a little more frequency.
They really have to figure out how to be just very tough to score on, keep their positioning, keep their discipline, and that's going to be really important in this. And then from there, can they try to create scoring opportunities going forward? But a big part of tonight is going to be Nona Reason in goal. Can they make it hard for Duke to score? She's been really big and in great form so far this season against some tough competition.
Yeah, there have been 3 different goalkeepers who have played, and Edward Radwanski saying he likes all 3 of his goalkeepers, but come on, plays like this. Nona Reason save off the line in rather dramatic fashion against South Carolina, but she will get the start tonight. Certainly will have some big moments. You can imagine the way this Duke team has been scoring. Tigers already have played 1 ACC match. They're 0-1 so far. It is the ACC opener for the Duke Blue Devils, as we'll get you to the starting lineups for both teams tonight. Duke coming in on a 5-game winning streak, and one thing that stands out, Casey, is this is just a really veteran Duke Blue Devil team that has quite a bit of depth as well.
And you have to be a veteran team to come out in a 3-6-1. This is a very good formation for this group with Laguerre and Bebar there in that double pivot. Watch for them to get on the ball a lot, and they're going to be looking for the players ahead of them on the field. But Maggie Graham is a player that not only looks to get beyond and penetrate forward, but she also starts everything on the defensive side for them as well. So she's critical here this evening.
Robbie Church has talked about how well this team has gotten out on the front foot. They've been aggressive. They need to do that again on the road. And nice moment before the game, too, as he was honored. Coach Radwanski and Coach Church have gone up against one another quite some time. This is Robbie's final season. He's announced his retirement coming at the end of the season. Meanwhile, for the Clemson Tigers, this is how Eddie Radwanski's team will line up tonight.
And they'll come out in the 4-3-3. They'll have the double pivot of Bornkamp and Brathwaite in there to try to defend against the midfield 4 of Duke. But Danny Davis as that center back role, she's an extremely versatile player. She'll be important to make sure that there's discipline in the back line. But another thing that she's great with is her dribble penetration going into the midfield. So she'll be able to jumpstart the attack for Clemson tonight.
Seen her in a couple of different positions this season. Beautiful night, starting to cool off just a little bit here in Clemson, South Carolina. It was still high 70s earlier in the day, but with that sun peeking behind the clouds, certainly at least inching toward a feeling of fall earlier this season. Michael Laverne, our referee, as he blows the whistle. Let's love the game from Clemson, South Carolina. Elle Piper, Bailey Brewster also out for the Blue Devils. Yeah, and Clemson could make the same claim there, a bit shorthanded. Renee Lyles has not been available yet this season, their top scorer in the spring. Senior for this Tiger team that could use a few more veteran presence out there. Emily Bruff has been out. Anna Kastenfeld, a freshman who started 6 matches, she's not available tonight. And so the deck gets shuffled, and Eddie Radwanski has not been afraid to do that and move some of even his stars around. You talk about Danny Davis, you may see her in the midfield. Right now she's trying to help defend as Duke attacking on the far side. Haas squirted it through. She'll get it back. Ella Haas, one of the transfers into the Duke program this year from Northwest, transfer from Harvard. Ready from the corner. And Duke calling for another one. They'll get it back to back. Better looking ball. It forced Reason to come out and play at the touch.
She really has been. And what happens here, when this gets cleared out, the back line of Clemson does step. Reason not quite able to get to this. And then she just reasserts herself in a new position to try to get on it. You can see the disappointment there. It was kind of between her right and left foot, trying to decide how to finish, and it goes just wide. Maggie player against Maggie Graham and Devin Lynch in those midfield positions and just really marking them tightly and denying service in.
Haas again on that far side. A chance in the box. A shot from Lynch. A save, but it's given up. What a save. Point.
And she's been in great form. This is really good play down the outside channel. It's perfect textbook ball into the path of Lynch, but what a big save. She kept it low, and it's still difficult.
Blue Devils on the attack again. Reason to the rescue again. Lina redshirted one of those years. Not many appearances. Just getting those game minutes back under her belt, getting comfortable, but looking comfortable so far. Bibar, cross to the other side. It's given up. Reason got her hands to it, but still it got through, and still the Blue Devils attack.
And we have to give a lot of credit not only to Reason there, but also to Bornkamp for the heads-up play on the second chance. This is a great service. It goes across. The initial save as she comes across her net, but it's Bornkamp who gets that right foot in. That's critical defending in a big moment.
Good eye, my friend, for the All-American for the Tigers. Another shot. My goodness.
Maybe turn the backs of the back three of Duke, play a little bit more in their end, and just relieve the pressure.
The goal kick went right to Mia Oliaro of Duke, and now here they come again. Walters just speed up top.
And just building through there. Maggie Graham's not able to get to it. Just a heads-up play to leave it for Farrah Walters, but I like how she stands that pressure initially, takes a little bit of a knock, keeps going, just yanks it a little bit too wide, but trying to find that.
Haas has been active on that far side. Gives it up a little earlier this time. Walters, there's a player down in the box. Duke screaming for a penalty. None was given. Back at that last attack.
And you'll see it right here. Farrah Walters goes in, and Maggie Graham, it looks like her feet get caught up with Manusos on the far side, but that ball's not going to get to that spot. You see Danny Davis in there, but there's definite contact.
The Duke attack fast and furious at the moment.
I think one of the things you have to look at here, too, is that
Lynch and the runners ready. Reason coming for it. This is a College Cup rematch of a year ago. Florida State beating Clemson in the semifinals. Clemson on the attack. Is this one of the moments they can strike in transition, getting down the field in a hurry? Eddie Redwanski saying they were going to have to switch it up. His wisely waiting for support. Haas always there to provide it on the far side. Good spin and look two from Bibar. Haas, a move to free herself. Gets past one more. Haas, the cross. What a handful she has been. Clemson really having trouble containing Duke on all sides. Now the header. Ball a little too high in the offside. Flag up anyway, but if you just think everything's going to continue once you get into this conference. Good ball to the back post, header, goal, Duke! That was coming. This Duke attack just unrelenting here at Clemson tonight, and now it pays off with the first goal of the match.
A little fist pump from Robbie Church right there, celebrating that. And this is what's really good about Duke. They take small little moments, figure out how to possess. This one coming off the throw, and Devin Lynch comes in, gets on the half turn, realizes she has space, a well-weighted ball in behind to Maggie Graham, and then it's Ella Haas. It's not read real well, the trajectory of the service, and Haas is just waiting on the back post of the six. It's an excellent ball in, curving away from Nona Reason, and a great finish.
Second goal of the season for Ella Haas. Graham and Lynch both getting credited with assists on the play. Bornkamp We've seen her play up top for Clemson. She quickly gets up, looks for the restart, short with the speed. End line, across, Clemson. Oh, an opportunity to answer right away. Cam Pickett up from a right back spot, but now nobody there behind the ball.
Oh, I like that play from Bornkamp because it's so heads up when they got the foul just to play quickly and put Tatum short in. So you can see that they're wanting to go forward, absolutely. But you also have to think about on the defensive side, you don't want this to become 2-0. So how do you stay compact, make sure that there's not more opportunities as clear as that goal that just went in?
Through ball for Walters on the run. Walters
Saw it on the goal. There's rotation in midfield that just happens where your holding mids get higher. It's Laguerre here in this moment, a well-weighted ball in behind to Walters for this opportunity. It almost sneaks under.
And already a tactical shift for Clemson with Bornkamp moving higher, as you pointed out. Earn this free kick situation for the Tigers. Driven by Davis. Bornkamp!
The important moments for Clemson. It's a great ball from Danny Davis right in behind the back line, curving enough that Leah Freeman doesn't want to come out.
Duke on the move again. Walters trying to beat the ball.
Are connecting a lot on those balls behind, and Nona Reason does see this coming in. It's the dribble penetration through midfield, the back shoulder run right there from Walters, but Reason comes out strong and doesn't allow anything else out of it.
The Tigers on the prowl. Bodak. Bornkamp asking for it. Had blue defenders all around her, though. Out wide it goes for Tobia, who's taken more of a wide position on the wing with Bornkamp in the center. And it looks like, too, that Pickett pushing up a little bit more. Manerick has dropped into that back line. Can put her up top, can put her out wide, can put her in the back if he needs to.
It's nice to have that versatility just like they've done with Bornkamp, just to show Duke some different looks.
Short sneaks this ball through. Bodak. Back across, no runners initially. Now Brathwaite has the shot. It takes a deflection.
Better, you're right, from Clemson. More numbers in the penalty area. A great ball from Bodak just to put it back post. Christian Brathwaite steps up. She just lifts it in the air. Placement is probably the better choice there in that.
Here on their home field a week ago. For Duke, they had a bye in the first weekend of conference play, so this is their ACC opener. The Blue Devils unbeaten their last 11 conference openers. They've won 8 of those, but this is a bad giveaway. Clemson takes advantage, ties it up!
Take a look right here. It's Leah Freeman playing out of the back. There's just a little bit of a miscue, trying to find the feet of Nikki Chico, and it's Tobia steps in. She puts her head down, doesn't even take a second thought about it, and absolutely rips it to the near post. This is an incredible finish because you know exactly what she's looking to do. One touch and go towards goal, and you can feel it coming from Clemson, and they're rewarded.
Look what I found, and Tobia does not make a mistake for her second goal of the season. Remember that Duke came into this match having shut out their last 5 opponents. We'll say goodbye to that.
So you got to give credit to Eddie Radwanski because he moved into a 5-back system when they were in the attack. That's not how they started. When they're in the attack, it's only 3 in the back, and now you've got numbers more forward, so there's just ability to put more pressure on the Duke back line. For it, they're trying to figure out, okay, we dropped early, but how do we show that we can play with the best?
Good to see Emily Bruff back out there coming onto the field. Did not play the last match. Started the first 6 for the Clemson Tigers. So the junior out of Liverpool, England, replacing Brathwaite in the middle of the field.
You can see how they've gone to this 3-back system in the back when they build out. It gets Pickett a little bit higher, it gets Manusos a little bit higher as well, and it just puts more runs above the ball, which is something we talked about early on that Eddie Radwanski wanted to do against Duke.
The last few matches, Clemson finding a way to break through. Duke now on the attack again. Laguerre has had some good looks. Back to Graham. Oliaro. Left football up. Not cleared yet. Reason calling for it, but won't have a chance to get there. That's a corner. And a Bibar. High delivery this time. A lot of air under the ball. Chico. Duke in a bit of a vulnerable position should they lose it. A lot of numbers up. Sasanicheva came off the bench, gets it to the end line. Good positioning by the Clemson defense.
And what they've done is having those three center backs there now and the way that they're set up, it just allows more players to be in and around that area, because early in the game, they were playing that ball drawn back, and Duke was able to get some really point-blank shots on frame against reason. So that's starting to deny that a little bit more.
Tobia, the goal scorer coming off for Clemson. Aaron Sheridan, a sophomore out of Melbourne, Florida, coming onto the field. Chico, this is where the Blue Devils like to go, right up the middle. Graham. Did she stay on side? So far, so good, Minestrella. Haas. Looking across the goal, had a couple of runners there.
When they're playing an interchange here, and Maggie Graham recognizes the space to give it to Haas, who's great in the 1v1, but look at that ball, incredibly dangerous. Sonicheva almost there on the end. She does leave her feet. There's just so much pace on this, skips off the ground and goes to the back post.
Northwestern. Eleanor Hayes replacing Minerick now for Clemson. About 11 minutes to go in our first half. Didn't know about that. Woo, this ball snuck across. We can pinned in here on this side. Bibar now gets it where she wants. Graham.
And you can see the buy-in, because it's a lot of risk taking. It takes a lot of confidence to leave only one or two at the back.
Chance and a shot. Minestrella, what a beauty! Just
that's able to find that space, gets on the half turn. Bibar just keeps it going on, takes one touch, sets it up on the prep touch, and then strikes it. It was dipping down. You almost get the feeling if it was another yard deeper, that might have dropped down into the goal.
Last match against Missouri. Lane St. George making just her 5th appearance of the season, the senior. See Manusos coming out. Amelia Erickson also coming on, a freshman. Her 5th appearance for the Tigers. What you want to watch for here, does the level drop? A lot of subs for both teams, or does it go the other way? Sheridan giving chase to that ball for the Tigers, but it will be a goal kick for Duke. Highly ranked opponent and you lose, or you take down one, as Wake Forest did, beating Virginia. Clemson with that opportunity tonight. Duke number 3.
And I think what we're seeing from Clemson is they're getting those wingbacks really high. It's putting more pressure on Duke. It allows them to get numbers up a little bit higher. I think that whole change tactically has really changed the trajectory of the game. It's got a great pace, more back and forth than what we saw initially on in the first half.
St. George, one of those veteran players, Clemson trying to get healthy, a senior. Just a couple of starts, 4 of them last year in that run to the College Cup. But started 17 matches the year before that. Minestrella pops it up, had a little spin on it, drops down. Sonicheva! Ella Hooser, a senior out of Cornelius, North Carolina, will come on and replace Bodak for these last couple of minutes of the first half.
They've really played themselves into the game, because there's so many ways that Duke can attack, and they've just tried to figure out how to be stingier.
On the attack again now are the Blue Devils with numbers. Clemson able to roll her. Bouncing ball behind, last touch by Clemson, so they wanted to avoid that corner kick in the dying seconds. Still, Duke perhaps with one more chance. in this first half. What a first half in this ACC opener for the Duke Blue Devils. They took the lead, but Clemson coming back to tie it. We are all tied, Casey, 1-1 after 45. Eddie Radwanski from Clemson joining us now. Eddie, you have to love the way your team responded after going down a goal, but tell us about some of the tactical changes that you've made throughout this first half.
I don't think you have enough time to talk about it. No, and listen, Duke came out and was put their imprint on the game. I like how we responded when we conceded a goal. You know, it was a great response on our part. And, you know, we just had to make a little bit of an adjustment of matching up with their shape and so forth to eliminate a little bit of control. And once we did that, you could see a little bit of the trend shifted a little bit more in our favor. So, we were able to get a little bit of control of the game.
And not only
both teams ready and refreshed for the start of the second half. One goal apiece, 45 minutes to decide a winner from historic Riggsfield. Jen Hildreth, along with Casey White, former North Carolina Tar Heel, on the call with you here from Clemson. And what shape might Clemson choose to be in? Saw them shift around quite a bit, as Eddie Radwanski said when we asked him about changes. How long you got? Because there were quite a few, and credit to his Tigers for being able to pull them off in the first 45.
And he did make that shape change to the 3-4-3, and it caused the central midfielders to have to cover a lot of ground in that midfield space, and they did a good job of it and put more pressure on Duke, but also he utilized his bench and bringing subs in to keep that pace going against Duke, because he knew that if they fatigued, that Duke would get another foothold in the game. To defend her, to try to stop her going forward because she's so creative off the dribble.
Lynch, Walters can run. So too can the Clemson defense. They needed some help getting back on that. See Emily Bruff defending there, number 5 for Clemson. That's one change for the Tigers from the way they started the match. She replaces Bodak in the starting 11 for the second half in the midfield. And Eleanor Hayes also starting in the back in place of Sydney Manerick for the Tigers. Duke moving quickly to their attacking third. A couple of positional changes depending on what the team has needed for Bourne Camp since that time. Lynch lays it off. A roller. Walters got there first, but has to get things turned around the other direction for Duke. Roller will help to do that. Duke still moving. You mentioned, I think you used the term well-oiled machine, Casey, at one point. It did feel that way at moments in the first half. They're just so fluid in their movements, both with and without the ball as they try to build. Excellent defending there, but Duke has numbers. They win it back. In the middle, Lynch gets the shot. Duke has the lead. Third goal of the season for Devin Lynch. Second of this match for the Blue Devils, who go out in front again.
Well, and you were just talking about it on cue, the type of interchange that they have, the movement. And Clemson's defending pretty well in this moment. There's numbers around the ball. It does pop there to Walters. And then this is the ball right across. Lynch just gets that half yard of space. It's the prep touch for me is what sets everything up. This ball from Walters is well-paced. Great defending from Oliaro. Very good commitment from her. But it's the first touch, the prep touch across. That draws Nona Reason to her near post and allows that space to open up on the backside. You'll see it right here. Draws her across, and it's a perfect textbook finish.
She knew exactly where she wanted to go with it, didn't
100%.
she? And not even where she wanted to go with the shot. As you were just saying, that first touch, she knew exactly what she was doing. Clemson coming off that incredible record-setting season a year ago. Ball over the top, Short will make a go for it. There's that speed. Duty looking to get those back in the fold. Haas on the run for Duke, gets in behind the back line. Haas slows it up. Credit the defense for that. The shot too high on the
territory that she didn't want to be in, had to retreat, but it's Pickett right here that comes in. Takes a bit of an awkward fall, but it does slow down Haas just enough that she has to play it wide, and then Manusos puts enough on Oliaro to make sure.
Duke. This has been a fruitful part of the field in both halves. Haas on the attack again. Haas one-on-one with Pickett. Clemson holding strong at the moment. Graham and the Blue Devils not done. Graham wanted her shot there. Laguerre takes it. Tough bouncing ball. Earlier days in high school. It's helpful once you get in goal. He's saying those goalkeepers aren't athletes. Duke retaking the lead in the 51st minute through Devin Lynch. Laguerre hops onto this ball. Graham cutting through into the area. Maggie Graham, give Duke more! The Duke Blue Devils have brought their attack to Clemson tonight.
And this game has just become more open-ended, and I think that seems to be to Clemson's advantage. But what Duke's done really well is their movement off the ball and in transition. Laguerre picks it up, and then there's runs above the ball. Good footwork here to keep it, but the vision, the pace on the ball, and again, it's the first touch from the receiving player. This time, it's Maggie Graham. There's separation provided when you have that good of a first touch. It draws your goalkeeper out, and then a great finish. You just want, as a playmaker, to keep this low and make it hard on the goalkeeper.
Fourth goal of the season, and the celebration from the captain, one of the captains for this Duke team, Maggie. Clemson making a trio of changes. Bodak back onto the field for the Tigers. Manerick and Erickson, the three on for Clemson, trying to change the tide of the cannot take anyone for granted in this conference. You've got a lot more teams to Ali Serlenga, first time we see the freshman number 23 as Short gets a little bit of a break, and Sheridan back on for the Tigers, replacing Tobia. Walters. Sanicheva giving chase. Is there a trip up there? It's outside the area. Initially, Michael Laverne, our referee, says play on. Well, this was the last play for Duke on the attack.
And it's Sanicheva there, about to take a touch, and it does look like she gets her foot between the player and the ball in that moment, and well-timed. She doesn't go in towards Sanicheva, she actually goes towards the ball, so I think it's a good no call there.
Yeah, that was a nice play from Sydney Manerick to see. That could have been looked at had it been in the penalty area and a potential penalty kick. That could have been looked at, but outside the area like that and with another defender close by, nothing doing. Manusos coming off. And Lane St. George back in for the Clemson Tigers. That has been one of the best in the country, quite honestly. Top 10 in terms of goals per game coming into this one tonight, averaging right about where they are now. All the runners calling for it. Haas has her arm up. She is off to the races now, trying to get in behind the defense. Half the night with Boston College and Michigan State at 8. Pitt, who's also 3-0, will host Youngstown State at 3:30 Eastern on ACC Network Extra and ESPN+. Bornkamp getting a little rest here as Tobia comes back on in her place for the Tigers.
Or so she's really been taken out of the game because they haven't been able to get it up to her at her feet.
Tobia immediately sensing an opportunity as she comes on. Ball all the way to the end line. Sheridan next Thursday, heading down to Tallahassee. We'll be there for that one next Thursday night on ACCN. Blue Devils on the attack. Shot, and there is another save to add to that already career high. Duke out shooting Clemson 16-4. The Tigers have still yet to register a shot in the second half. Does it come here? Tobia! Oh, she was lining that one up. Had it blocked, though.
There wasn't that little bit of hesitation. There's that little half second that allowed Roller to get over, but you could tell she wanted to take it.
And Roller is actually going to sit down behind the play now. She blocked that shot from close range. The referee will go over to take a look. Cam Roller, since stepping onto the field at Duke, has been pretty impressive defensively. Last year, member of the ACC All-Freshman team, was out injured most of the preseason last year, but was the highest-ranked defender in her class. And now really one of the anchors back there defensively for Duke.
And that's not an easy role to be in as we take a look at what just had her taking a little bit of a breather, was just that hard shot right in the side in that moment. But going into that...
Not often. And she's one of those defensive players, too, for the Blue Devils who just gets the work done. Blue Devils taking another shot, putting it right at Reason, though. Brathwaite coming back on for Clemson. Do the tie to start talking about a tie. Pretty incredible, some of the things that these Duke players have done over the summer. Lindy Brown, the excellent sports information director at Duke, showing us as this ball, into Freeman. The halftime break. And this attack showing no signs of letting up. Offside flag will halt them this time around.
And the real difference...
Back out wide this time for Duke. One quick touch per Duke player setting up this play. And then that's a foul. Free kick coming. This could be Katie Groff time.
And Phoebe Goldthwait gets into this area right here, puts a battle on Danny Davis, wins it, gets her body in front, and then Davis reacts. Goldthwait able to draw the foul.
For the Blue Devils, two-time All-American in her career at Harvard. It is going for Groff at the back post, but it didn't make it quite that far. Freeman, big ball over the top. Come on, give that goalkeeper an assist. Get there, Duke trying to. But the opposing goalkeeper. Keeping track of subs can be a full-time job. I'm always appreciative of the wonderful Karen Blackman sitting next to me here in Clemson. Under 5 to play. Duke Blue Devils 2 goals in the second half to break a 1-1 stalemate at halftime. Another free kick coming here for the Blue Devils. Bebar looking for long. Credit Clemson, though, covering those runs pretty well. That's a tough challenge. Good to see Sheridan back up. Hooser back in. Duff coming off for the Tigers. And this could be more of an offensive type substitution for the Tigers, trying to get more attacking players on the field in these final few minutes, chasing.
Try to do something to disrupt Duke and get the ball forward.
Have to get the ball away from Duke to start. Minestrella keeping it herself at the moment, now looking for a pass in between the lines. The original turn from Goldthwait denied, the follow-up shot.
And this is really good in the final third. Recupero gets the ball. Look at the feet from Goldthwait right there in that moment. It's a tough challenge, but keeps it alive, and it's Recupero that steps in and forces the save from Reason.
Bebar, such a steady presence in the middle of the field. A wonderful pickup for this Duke soccer team transfer from Harvard. Sonicheva driving in, denied one more. As the final seconds tick off, what a dominant Duke performance getting the 3-1 win tonight.
It really was a great performance from Duke. They started both halves very quick. They got better in defending transition in the second half, and then so many runs above the ball. This last one from Sonacheva, until the last second, Duke was not stopping and trying to create opportunities and score goals.
So a win in the ACC opener for the Duke Blue Devils. They're now unbeaten in their last 12 ACC openers of the season. Getting the win on the road at Clemson tonight. They improved their win streak to 6 in a row. Clemson showed plenty of fight to come back once in this one, but the second half just was all Duke.
They did show a lot of resilience, but Duke just had too much firepower, 3 different goal scorers, and so much fluid possession to go forward. They're just going to be a tough opponent for anyone facing them down through ACC play.